All set? Okay, very good. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Cheney?
Here.
Trustee Foster?
Here.
Mayor Newhart?
Here.
Trustee Lindberg?
Here.
And Trustee McKnight is absent.
May I have a motion for authorization to pay all approved and audited claims in the amount of $235,606.61.
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And Raina, would you read the assessment roll announcement?
Notice of completion of tentative assessment roll pursuant to section 1406 of real property tax law, hearing of complaints. Notice is hereby given that the assessor of the Village of Warwick, County of Orange, has completed the tentative assessment roll for the current year, and that said assessment roll was timely filed as of January 27, 2023, and that a copy thereof is available on the Village of Warwick's website at www.villageofwarwick.org, or in the clerk's office during regular business hours, where it may be seen and inspected through February 21st, 2023. Hearing of real property assessment grievances. On Tuesday, February 21st, 2023, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., the Board of Assessment Review for the Village of Warwick will meet at the Village Hall, 77 Main Street, to hear and examine all verified written complaints in relation to such assessments, and the application of any person believing himself aggrieved thereby. Complaint on real property assessment forms, RP 524, with all supporting documentation must be filed with the clerk's office on or before 8 p.m. on February 21st, 2023. The RP 524 complaint form may be found on the Village of Warwick's website at www.villageofwarwick.org. Assessor consultation appointments. The assessor or her designee will be available until Tuesday, February 14th, 2023 by appointment via telephone to discuss tentative roll assessments. To schedule an appointment, please contact the assessor through the village clerk's office by calling 845-986-2031 or by email clerk@villageofwarwick.org. Appointments must be scheduled and confirmed in advance.
Thank you, Raina. And under discussions this morning, we have 2 points: Rebuilding America Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity, Raise Funding Opportunity, and Safe Streets for All grant opportunity, which is just kind of surface. So do you want to lead the board?
So regarding RAISE, we're sort of continuing to work on developing that material, and I've reached out to a couple residents about letters of support and sort of having some conversations with regard to that. I also went to the youth and government class on Wednesday and spoke with the kids about the grant, and then we've been working on getting in touch with an engineering firm about kind of supporting sort of the cost development.
Okay.
So that's really the update there, and
Okay.
hoping to make a lot more progress over the course of next week. Trustee McKnight and I have been working together on the content of the application.
Okay.
And so then, go ahead.
I just, if you have a list of letters of support that you're looking for,
Yes.
I'll be more than glad to reach out to all those parties. So
Okay,
you just get something off your plate.
thank you.
Yeah.
And I do have that list.
You do?
And I owe you that list, so I'll get that to you today.
Okay.
I did want to share with folks this opportunity. It's called Safe Streets for All. And actually, before I get into that, I mentioned, I think during the last board meeting, there's this, I don't know if I would call it a group, but it's a support mechanism called the Local Infrastructure Hub. And it's, I think, run by the National League of Cities.
Right.
And it's a free resource, and they run these boot camps for rural and small communities. And so I've participated in 3 of their calls so far, and it's just an incredible resource. And so I would like to invite, if any of the other board members are interested in, I think it would be good for someone to participate other than myself. There will be times, I think there's probably going to be a webinar that would make sense for Raina or Sadie to join, which I can give you guys a heads up when that happens. But The boot camps are specifically about supporting access to funding. And actually, let me zoom into one of these items down here. It talks about, so not only are they providing these boot camps where we have these webinars, but they are also providing like smaller coaching sessions to help increase competitiveness. And then they have office hours. So they're providing a huge amount of technical support to help increase access to these federal dollars for like lower capacity communities so that we can compete against folks like, these major metropolitan areas. And then they've also created this, there's this dashboard that, so each course that you take, so I'm in the Safe Streets and Roads for All course. They've got like a calendar of all kinds of different things, to participate in. And they provide just like a bunch of resources within this single dashboard. And so I can tell them who wants an account, and then any, of you all can have access to
That would
the
be great.
same information. So for next week, for example, there's a coaching session, and it's specifically about this grant that I'm working with them on, if that makes sense.
And that's the Safe Streets grant, or
Yeah, that's particular boot camp. So let me tell you about this grant, and my computer literally just froze here. So Safe Streets for All is, it's a slower burn than Raise. I'll start with that. So,
Good.
and I think that some of the work that we're doing on Raise will actually potentially be really useful for this. They haven't released the notice of funding opportunity yet. So they did release the list of folks that were successful last year. So that's actually at the top here that you can see that I'm frozen. And so I can show you that. But there's $1 billion available for planning, and I believe another $1 billion available for implementation. The catch is that you have to have a state-approved transportation action plan. And in order for you to go after the implementation money, if you don't have that, you have to go after the planning grant. So I've been sort of looking through the requirements to have an approved action plan, and I think that we could actually be most of the way there. So let's say they release the notice of funding opportunity sometime over the course of the next month or so. Last year, the applications were due in September, so that gives us time. And the boot camp actually wraps up in like April or May, so they kind of stretch it out over all that time. But I will send this link is actually, if you could circulate the link that I shared to the board, they'll have access to this thing that is no longer loading. But there's a checklist that identifies all of the different requirements of the action plan. And, we have a governing body that has a goal of reducing risk on our roadways. We had the master plan advisory group, and we're planning to set up a transportation task force. We've done a lot of stuff that I think could actually be pulled together. The piece that we're really missing is the data. I don't have access to the data yet. I was chatting with Chief Rader last night, and they're going to help us get data. And you may think oh, well, we're a small rural community. There's not a lot of fatalities and things that would support maybe going after Safe Streets for All funding. But actually, rural communities have higher, even though the population is small, so it looks like there's not a lot of incidents, they tend to actually be higher per capita than major metropolitan areas. So,
what's the window on that data?
well, I need it for Raise also. So I did get in touch with county planning department and to see if they could help expedite if needed or share data, which I had CC'd you on, I believe. And I did submit a request for the federal data. But Chief Rader, I know, is going to be looking, and so hopefully over the course of next week, I'll get it.
Okay.
And then I can process it pretty quickly.
I guess I meant how long of a period of time do you have to have data for?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's just like recent years.
Recent
It's
years,
looking at,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, and it's looking at areas where you've had crashes, and basically because you have to shape the plan around, where you have hot spots and concerns, and you can base your concerns on a variety of feedback, stakeholder engagement. So one of the things I think I'm going to be asking of the board is hopefully someone, and you can let me know offline, is interested in joining me on some of these webinars. And I don't think we have to decide right now whether we're going to go for the planning or implementation grant, but that will be a future discussion we'll need to have, to see whether or not we really think we could pull together an eligible plan, or whether we think we should get the funding to really facilitate that.
Could you, excuse me, the grants that they did give out as far as Safe Streets, what did they do? What was the solution for some of those?
Yeah, so actually, it's right here on the screen. I'm going to zoom into it. The implementation grant, they really want you to address your full system. So for example, like if you identify improved crosswalks, they want to see that done like throughout your system. And they installing pedestrian safety enhancements, development of bikeway networks, speed management, safe routes to school, like all the stuff we've been talking about, doing education campaigns, things like that. And then there's a toolkit that they provided. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm having a hard time navigating this today. So there's some toolkit stuff that they really like seeing, that they've identified as working. Pedestrian refuge islands, curb extensions, some of what we were talking about the last meeting regarding the area in front of Veterans Memorial Park, high visibility crosswalks, bike lanes.
Is a cycle track a pump track?
I think that's more like the multi-use.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, and then, so they've provided some resources on that. And then if we look really quickly at the stuff that was funded, last time they had 18 awardees receive grants for citywide improvements, 16 for specific corridor improvements. There were some grants for neighborhood level improvements and some for trail crossings. So for this particular grant, the scale matters, right? So in RAISE, one of the things we had to be careful about was creating projects that were really functionally connected. Here, this grant is really concerned about the system. And what else is really interesting about this is many of the scoring criteria they're almost identical to RAISE.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really a good thing. So, and then they provide a bunch of templates and things. So,
Okay.
Does the funding for this come directly to the municipality, or does it have to come through the state and the county transportation council?
that's a really good question. I think let me get back to you on that. I believe that it goes directly to the municipality, but that it's administered through the state the same way that the RAISE might be. But I'm not totally sure.
And as far as the TAP goes, there needs to be a TAP. The Orange County Transportation Council has a TAP. So are we gonna become listed on that?
What's a TAP?
The Transportation Action Plan?
Oh, we would have to have our own. for our, and it's like a transportation safety action plan. So we would have the Village of Warwick's action plan. Although we could do it, I think, if it was part of a larger action plan. Maybe you would be the right guy to participate on. I'm very much on a learning curve around the transportation stuff.
I mean, I know a bit about the activities of the Orange County Transportation Council, and you know, they've got all the projects listed, they get funding and somehow dole it out equitably.
Yeah, if there's an action plan, if there's a larger action plan that encompasses Warwick, then
Yeah, but the action plan that I'm referring to is more a list of the projects that municipalities have brought forth and have been included in the plan. So I'm not sure which way this goes, and
Yeah.
maybe we can have a discussion with the Commissioner of Planning and his team that works the Transportation Council.
great. Yeah, I guess the big thing would be that data. Like, are they including a strategic analysis of data?
And I think that happens on individual projects, it would be my guess, so.
Okay, cool. And the good thing is we have time, it's not the end of the month like the RAISE grant.
So within both of these grants, is there the capability of adding administrative support in dealing with the grant? Now, let's say if we receive the grant, then with federal monies, there's so many hoops.
Yeah,
And, we have a staff that's already working at full tilt. I mean, even if it was a part-time
yeah.
person to be able to, focus specifically on the administration of it, it would be really good, I think. So-
Yeah, my understanding is that there's a line item that you can include for project management, grant
Okay,
management,
okay.
administrative activities. Yeah.
Okay, I think that would be good.
Yeah. And so this one, I'm just now learning about this, but I've included some links in this documentation. These are screenshots from the webinar that I attended yesterday, so this is hot off the press.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I plan to do some of the boot camps. I just haven't my schedule's been pretty rocky.
Yeah, and the good thing is they do record them too.
Oh, okay, good.
So, and they post the information and everything, so.
Okay, good.
But I enjoy the conversations too, because I'm starting to realize that because they've pulled together so many small rural communities, a lot of the folks are dealing with the same stuff. It's so funny, like somebody was on the meeting yesterday and they said, there's this state road that goes through our community and it's not been designed for, I was like, we have a doppelganger on this call.
Right.
So it was good.
That's good. Well, thank you for all the work that you're doing towards both of these things, so, and bringing it to light, so, it's pretty exciting, actually, so. Privilege of the floor, would anybody like to?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to motions, and trustee Cheney.
Number one, motion to grant permission to Village of Warwick employee Boris Rodzinski to carry over 5 vacation days.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to advertise and receive proposals for water production system operator and wastewater system operator.
Second.
All in favor?
Just to highlight, 2 of the aspects of this, it's a 3-year contract with 2 one-year options. And the increase in the contract each year is tied to the consumer price index. So the last contract we had was set up this way, and so we went through the first 3-year period, and then we authorized enacting the options for the other 2 years. So it gives us a good deal of stability, but it also gives us an out. And if anybody has any other questions, I'm working on finalizing the RFP.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to advertise and receive bids for chemical delivery for the Village of Warwick water and sewer plants to include delivery to the water plant, well number 2, well number 3, and the microfiltration plant. Bids will be for fiscal year June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to advertise and receive bids for refuse pickup and delivery of a 30-yard refuse container on an as-per-needed basis. Bids will be for fiscal year June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Motion to approve the purchase of a digital correlator system from C.A. Turner Company, Inc. in the amount of $18,750 for the Village of Warwick Water Department to locate leaks with greater efficiency per recommendation of Water Distribution Supervisor Christopher Bennett. Funds are appropriated in Budget Code F.8340.2350.
Second. Oop.
You got it, it's fine.
Barry, do you want to just describe what that correlator is about?
Yes, it's a piece of equipment that listens to the ground and measures the noise levels, and then it allows us to know that there's water moving through the ground that isn't moving through a pipe.
I see. Okay.
So that will.
And it replaces a correlator that we,
The second one, the next one.
The next one,
replaces the.
the water
other
leak detector,
device.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is a somewhat newer device for us. And also just mention that the County Water Authority had money to do leak detection surveys with a company that has even more robust equipment than this. It happens every couple of years. And so we're gonna have our entire 35 miles of water mains be the subject of a leak detection survey. It's probably gonna happen sometime in the first quarter of 2023 calendar year. So that's good. We always find a little bit. The first time they did it, we found
A lot,
quite a little
yeah.
bit, and it's been less and less. But this is important for when we notice there's a leak somewhere, like it surfaces to the ground, and then we're able to use this equipment to more pinpoint the location of it so that the digging is minimized, as opposed to just digging a hole and then chasing where the water seems to be coming from. It gives us a better shot at not hitting it, but finding it on the first dig.
good.
Barry, what's the cause of most of the leaks? Is it just old pipes or what?
A combination, old, and also you get subsidence, you get freeze,
Temperature
thaw,
change,
yeah.
temperature changes, the depth of, when it's cold in the winter and the ground starts to freeze, soil expands when it's frozen, and so that has an impact.
And road work as
And
well.
the last one we had was on Elm Street, and it was a longitudinal crack in the service line that comes off the water main, and it was the cause not good compaction beneath that pipe, or was the cause the vibration of all the equipment we had in there?
Yeah.
Repaving Elm Street. So, it's a combination, or those are two possible reasons, but, it's usually age-related most of the time, you find.
Yeah. Very good. So we have a second on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve the purchase of a digital water leak detector from C.A. Turner Company, Inc. in the amount of $5,700 to replace an older device that is no longer functioning, per the recommendation of Water Distribution Supervisor Christopher Bennett. Funds are appropriated in Budget Code F.8340.2350.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to grant permission to Winslow Therapeutic Riding Center to hold the Duck Derby event on Sunday, May 21st, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. in Linear Park by the Wayanda Creek and South Street parking lot, with setup to begin at 8 a.m. and breakdown to be completed by 3 p.m. Completed park permit, proof of insurance, and security deposit have been received.
Okay.
Second.
I just want to make a comment. Did you realize that we do have a linear park?
I did.
I just, it's
Yeah.
it's
Not
kind
in
of,
the eyes of the state, but
I was like, I'll ask about that later.
it's really basically the South Street parking lot along the stream, and we designated it as a linear park, so that's where it is, so, but,
and I just want to note there were 3 items that weren't checked, and I brought that to Raina's attention. She contacted Winslow, and the answer to those 3 items is no.
okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to grant permission to the Warwick Valley Gardeners to use Railroad Green on Friday, July 7th, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for a pre-tour ticket sales event, and on Saturday, July 8th, 2023, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., with a rain date of July 19th, 2023, for the annual Countryside Garden Tour event. The event is in coordination with the Merchants Guild in anticipation of the annual sidewalk sale event. Completed park permit, security deposit, and proof of insurance have been received.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to place 8 no parking meter covers on parking meter numbers 43 to 46 northbound side of Main Street and 108 to 111 southbound side of Main Street from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, July 8th, 2023, with a rain date of Sunday, July 9th, 2023, for the benefit of the Warwick Valley Gardeners Garden Tour ticket sale as per their letter dated January 30th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to grant permission to the Warwick Fire Department to use Veterans Memorial Park for a 9/11 memorial service on Monday, September 11th, 2023, from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Request includes use of electricity near the entrance of the park. Completed park permit and proof of insurance have been received.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Motion to grant permission to the Warwick Fire Department to use the Veterans Memorial Park Pavilion for a department picnic on Saturday, July 29th, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Request includes use of alcohol, inflatable rides, electricity, pavilion lights, restrooms, and village-owned tables and chairs. Completed park permit and proof of insurance, including host liquor liability, and coverage for inflatable rides have been received.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to refund Ed and Choka in the amount of $10 for the purchase of local residency card due to the inability to print cards due to a technical issue.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And Barry, we have a
Oh, yes.
additional motion.
Hang on just a second. Motion to accept the proposal for professional services from ERS Consultants, Inc., dated January 24th, 2023, for environmental services for a fee of $2,500.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And final comments from the board? Anything?
My only thing is that we had a meeting on January 23rd with the Veterans Memorial Park Stakeholder Advisory Group. And at that meeting, Karen Arndt presented the very preliminary ideas in graphic format for the group to consider. And we broke out in breakout groups, and folks provided feedback, and she summarized that feedback. And so the next steps are for Karen to kind of take that feedback. We'll meet with the stakeholder advisory group again to kind of confirm that she got it right and talk about sort of thinking in terms of phasing for implementation and how that might look. And then we will subsequently hold a public open house to review the draft plan
Great.
in that format.
So one of the things that Karen desperately needs is a survey. And so I've reached out to Dave Getz, because their company, their engineering company does surveying, but he has not gotten back to me, so I'm waiting to hear from that.
She needs a survey of the entire.
Not some of it has been done.
Yeah, the north side of the park. There's the south side is really well,
The wooded side, the wooded area.
well, north of Memorial Park Drive. So that includes the wooded area because there's a preliminary concept for like a boardwalk and things.
So,
I'm wondering whether we have that in the previous plan.
makes sense.
That would be
We
great.
have to look at it.
Okay.
But we might not have
I would think
access
that maybe,
to it.
yeah.
I don't know that we have it electronically.
Where would it be?
The plan?
The survey plan, yeah. I know where the plan,
Well, it would be part of the plan.
part of the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, because
So-
Karen has that, so,
Oh, okay.
okay. Well, we'll
We'll
do
look
some
at that.
investigation, but, okay. Anything else from the board?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are any of those plans for the park part of the budget for this? Will we need any money in the budget this year for those
Yes.
ongoing?
Yeah, Barry and I had a very preliminary conversation, that what I think we will need to do is look at the preliminary plan and figure out what are the things that we can or would want to do in-house. And one of the things we'll be meeting with the stakeholder advisory group is like priorities in terms of sequencing. But what can we do in-house? What are the things that we might be able to partner with other organizations on? And what are the things that we might need to budget or look for external sources of funding through grants?
Right.
So that is something that I think, even though it's in a preliminary state, we have a general idea, I think, of at least what the elements might be. And so maybe we can begin those conversations.
Great.
Because then even if they change, we at least have line items, you know.
Good.
That's good. Very good. So I think there's nothing else. Could I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Aye, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Oh, we have plenty of time.
I know.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the live recording.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still live.
Yeah, would it make sense for us to do a working session on the draft plan? Or would it just be something that we could do with Mike and you and me? I don't know.
Yeah, probably, yeah, I don't think we need a work session to start out. We should start there and then it'll come up during the work
During,
session.
for
with the
budget,
board
yeah.
For budget.
Do you have an additional copy of the preliminary